Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and today I'm at All Things Paranormal with Paul, Paul the Demon Hunter, Paul Dale Roberts.
Well, thank you, Hercules. And tonight we got a special guest and we got some stories to listen to. But before I introduce you to the guest, I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves to the guest. Um, and I'm going to start off with Tim Shorts because, Tim, I heard this rumor on the street that you got some new book out. Is
No,
that
no, no, Paul. That's just complete. That's fake news. Never heard all that. What? That's just ridiculous. I mean, you know, uh,
my
no,
God?
just there we go.
Evil, evil.
Oh,
I got my copy today.
wow.
It came out this week and I got my copy. So now everybody else who has contributed to this book will get their copy sometime in the near future. Everybody else you'll have to pay.
That is that. I love that
That's
cover.
stupid.
How's the back look? Let's let's see
Yeah,
the back.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
it's blurred.
it's out of focus.
Ooh.
Yeah, there we go.
That
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
it's hot. Yeah, it doesn't want to focus on it.
I need glasses and I don't wear glasses.
Mm, have to like sneak it up there, you know.
Ah,
Congratulations, Tim, and congratulations to all the people who have articles in that book.
Well, that includes yourself, Paul, and tonight's guest, Michael Waterman. And
Oh,
Hercules. Hercules. Sorry, I didn't mean to forget you, Hercules.
Hercules. Yes, yes. Anyway, this is Tim Schwartz. He's an author, he's a paranormal researcher. You've probably seen him on Ancient Aliens, Histories, Greatest Mysteries, and William Shatner's The Unexplained. This is Tim Schwartz. And he's got some books out there that just will blow your mind. Okay, Hercules, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Hercules Invictus. I live the mythic life if I have for my entire lifetime. I'm a paranormal investigator. I am an author. I'm a retired human service professional. I'm honored to be in many of Tim's anthologies, including this one, and I'm very honored to have you all here on my channel.
Fantastic. Thank you, Hercules. And the next one, we got Sue McClure.
Hi, I'm Sue McClure, and I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a meditation specialist. I help people with their trauma and their shadow work.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. And we got Gloria Ramos.
hello, I'm Gloria, author, artist, reluctant psychic.
All right. And we got Michael Koff.
Oh, thank you for
Michael.
having me on. I'm a paranormal investigator, author, and podcaster.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michael. Now I'm going to introduce the guests. And I want the panel to know if you hear something and you want to jump in and you make a comment or you have a question, feel free to do that. Our guest tonight is Michael K. Waterman. He's an Egyptologist, psychic medium, a paranormal experiencer, and an author. And we're going to talk about four subjects: his attraction to Egypt, his past lives of reincarnation, a ghost that haunts him, and a witch story. So, Michael, welcome to the show. And tell us what brought you to Egypt, where you're just so enthralled with it. You got this attraction to it.
Well,
What in your life brought you to that pathway?
it started out kind of in a weird way, of course, this is because it's me. Um, we were driving from Long Island to Brooklyn, and I looked toward my right, and there was a gigantic, I think it was like 40-foot poster on the wall of one of the theaters. It was of Elizabeth Taylor as Cleopatra. I was what, 6 years old. We were just going to bring my father's parents home to meet my new sister. I looked up at this woman and I thought, what? Who? Where? Who is that? And my father said, that's Cleopatra. All of a sudden, there was like a weird stream of consciousness. I knew that name. I didn't know who she was. I knew she didn't look like that. I don't think anybody really looked that beautiful. But I wanted to know more about Cleopatra. My mother's brother, Lloyd Sloan, was a very famous art history professor, and he took me to first libraries near me. I was digesting everything. I was reading, remember, at 6 years old, I was reading on an eighth grade level. So my brain exploded. I wanted to know everything I could know about Egypt. All of a sudden, it was Cleopatra brought me to really looking at the books. And I went into the Metropolitan Museum. I thought I was going to move in because I fell madly in love with the area and the energy. And something in my soul said, this is your path. This is who you are. And then later on, I did past life regressions. The one that I recognize the most, his name is Setna Kamweset. He was the fourth son of Ramesses II. He's not famous. They found him in parts of him in KB5, but he was a high priest of Amun. He knew about the Eye of Horus. The funny thing was, I drew this symbol, the Eye of Horus. I don't know if you all can see that. I drew this all my life, and I told everybody before I ever even looked it up that that was the Eye of Horus, the Udshot. I knew that, and it was a symbol that I knew. And it came to me, and I thought, okay, so I wear them all the time, but it's an energy that belongs to me. And the more I worked with Egypt, the more I knew that was my path. And that's where I am now.
Well, that is totally, totally amazing. Also, too, you had some past lives where you feel like you're reincarnated from Egypt.
I
Can
do
you
have
tell us about
I do have quite a few. Barry Manilow saying I've been alive forever. Well, I have. Sedna Kamweset was one that I knew I was aware of energy wise. There were others, earlier dynasties. I know that I was a barber. I worked, and it's maybe why ended up working in that culture in this life, but I was a poor barber in an area near Memphis. And I don't mean Tennessee, Memphis, Egypt. It was the first capital. And I remember sitting in the street with a chair or a bench and shaving people's heads and faces, and that it was very hot and making people look good and feel good. And maybe that's why that was here. One of my other lives was a vizier who later became a pharaoh. He was a very old man when he was a pharaoh. He only lived 5 years as pharaoh. um, and he was a very wily, crazy, imaginative person. I guess that's part of my soul too. um, then I have other strange things happening. I know I'll put it, I guess it's the 16th century. I was at the court of Henry VIII. My name was Hal. There's another name too, but my nickname was Hal. I was, again, a barber or a clown or things. I was close to Henry. For a long, long time, I had pains in my neck whenever I would think of this energy, and I didn't know why. And I worked with a woman named Helga Faldrick, who's a very famous Reiki master and a hypnotherapist and an amazing being. I have to give her credit. And we focused and we worked, and I didn't know anything about Henry VIII except maybe what I saw when Keith Mitchell did the Six Wives of Henry VIII years ago on Channel 13, PBS, excuse me. I didn't know anything about him, and I didn't know about this Hal character. So we focused and focused and focused, and I saw an energy scene where we were sitting in what I would imagine was the attic of one of the palaces, and he's crying and he's upset. Um, he doesn't know what to do, and he's about to marry Anne Boleyn and doesn't know if he loves her, but he doesn't know if he should because he doesn't want to leave his wife. He feels bad about it. And I warned him not to. And then there was a flash in the past life regression where he had died. And I'm on his bed, the four-poster bed, and I'm crying. And I look at the sashes on his bed. I take one, wrap it around my neck, and I hung myself. And that's why I had those neck pains. And the moment we did that, the neck pains were gone. It was that energy was released. And that's amazing. Okay. Other lives of mine that I'm aware of, there are two that are not human, they're animal lives. I know about being a cobra. I've always had a thing. You can see on my finger, I have a cobra. All my life, I've had a thing for cobras. I know that in the 1700s, I was an an Indian cobra. I remember being on the ground and that smell, that bergamot smell or vetiver smell, that stale, musty odor as you move along, and I could feel myself pushing along, and I know that I went down into a hole after another snake, and I felt other things, and then after a while, that energy was gone. The last one, there's many, many, many more, and I don't want to get into that because it goes on too long. But before Michael, there was a cat, and her name was Patches. She was a calico cat. She lived in Nebraska. I think this was how I entered into this country. And I was 3 years old. I watched my kittens running across a field and going. There were two farmhouses on either side of a road, a dirt road. And I'm looking and looking, and my kittens are going over the fence, and I'm not paying attention. And all of a sudden, and I saw this, a 1939 Ford truck is coming at me at great speed. And all I can feel is the crunching and crackling of my bones and darkness, and a girl screaming in the farm that I imagine was my farm, Patches, Patches, Patches. And I see blackness. And then before I know it, I'm Michael. So those are some things that I've experienced in reincarnation. And I now do past life regression work with people because I've experienced so much of it, and I'm able to help other people find things about where they might have been, where they were, excuse me, and where their energies go. I've had very strange experiences also where this young lady insisted she was Uncle
Sorry.
King Tut's wife, but because she felt that she was in that time, and of course
Call you later. I'm in a podcast.
everybody has to be a king or a queen. You can't be like a street barber. You can't be an animal. And that's not true. Your soul goes where it goes. And that's what I learned. And I think I learned as I was going along through time, I think I picked up things about what makes me work now as Michael.
Question.
Sure.
When you help people do past life regression, do you do it through hypnotism? Do you hypnotize them?
Yeah. It's a relaxation and hypnotherapeutic procedure, yes. And I can do it on the phone. My company is Phone a Wizard. Like you, I'm a psychic. I do I work with different forms of divination, including tarot, but I don't really need them. But you know what? It's a good way to um, have a focusing point, a card.
Mhm.
I've done it with index cards. I don't need the actual tarot cards. But it's something to work with. Many times I work with just a crystal. This is going to disappear because of the way Zoom is, but I work with this large Atlantean crystal, and that helps a lot too. So yeah, you can do it that way, but you have to know that you're not going to see, you're a psychic. You're not going to see what that person's seeing. You can only take them where they're going to go. And the way that it's done also, the way Helga taught me was the person goes through, like a light tunnel and all those things, et cetera, et cetera. But she would say to me or whoever, I want you to look and see if you can see what you look like. Well, as Setna, it had rained, and in Egypt that's rare, but it had rained and there was a puddle. And I looked down at myself and I saw slippers, sandals. I saw white pleated clothes and the beginnings of a leopard robe. And I was able to see my face with eyeliner, a collar like I'm wearing right now, armbands. And I didn't look like something out of a Cecil B. DeMille movie. I was darker skinned. I was round faced. I didn't look anything like me, but I knew that was me. And
You
then
just
she,
you
I
felt
knew it.
you.
It's a soul. It's a soul connection. You can feel that silver cord between you and that incarnation. And then she asked me to look at something that was a happy time. And so, as Comwest, I had, um, I was delighted. One of my brothers, Merneptah, became pharaoh. I didn't live too much longer after that, but I saw him crowned. And then they asked, to leave, and I felt myself laying down on a bed, a hard, like a bamboo or woven bed, and closing my eyes and ending that life. But so I got positive things, and I got a question. I guess I received something, and I left.
Hmm. I have another question.
Sure.
Somebody was talking to me about pyramids today, and they said, you need to check out this podcast because it's talking about the pyramids, that they are burial sites, but actually it's like a power plant.
It's
They're
both. It's
both. There
both.
are vessels that have metal like sticks, and they're conductors.
There are no metal in the pyramids. I've
Uh,
been there. I've been
oh,
there.
okay, okay.
I've
So
slept.
I
I've
haven't
slept in the
listened to
king's
that
chamber.
podcast. I'm just curious
Okay.
because they
Um,
said it was like the way to communicate with other pyramids elsewhere in the world.
that's
I
very
said,
interesting. But trust me, I've been all three of the pyramids, the Great Pyramids.
but you
The
didn't
red,
see any
the
of
red,
it.
the red pyramid vibrates the most. That's the one that has all the lists of the kings and queens, and it's got magical spells in it. It's amazing. The Great Pyramid has no language, no hieroglyphs, no nothing in it. Even the broken sarcophagus, which I slept next to for 4 hours. And by the way, they smell terrible. The guides often relieve themselves in the pyramids, which is lovely. But I was up in the king's chamber and then the queen's chamber, which is wider. And there's no metal in there. If it is, it's just the electrical wiring so you can see where you're going.
Okay, well, I need to listen to that podcast because I'm very curious, because this has to do with other universal life that
Yeah, no,
extraterrestrial.
I agree with you.
And
There are
all,
shafts that go
mhm.
um, like kind of on an angle, a 45-degree angle that go out of the pyramid, and they're all over the pyramid. And they, I believe, are how, if there is an energy form that works with that pyramid shape, I think that's where that would be, where they use for initiations and for different rituals that were done. But that was, I think, before they had Khufu buried in it, and that would be from his son, Jedefra or Merneptah.
Were there um,
No.
carvings in the pyramid? Because this person who was telling me about this podcast said there are similarities in all the pyramids, the ones in Machu Picchu, other pyramids elsewhere, and they look like aliens with kind of like a
That's in the
bobble.
red pyramid. That's in the red pyramid. There
Okay.
are interesting things that are going on. And also, I was in Armana. That's where Akhenaten ruled from for 5 years. You know that the people, the women that took care of him were Nubian. And in order for the babies to get through the birth canal easier, they would squeeze the head. And so that when they were born, they had elongated heads. And they
So,
wrapped them just like very other peoples in Africa. They wrapped them so that they would look, and they did that. I believe, I agree with you that to look like the aliens that taught them how to do that.
okay, okay. I see the connection now, but I'm very interested in that. So I need to look at I need to listen to that podcast to get more into it.
You have a
But those
great deal of background. I know that if you work strongly, you can get to what they call the Akashic records, and you'll be able to find people's past lives and also what's going on beyond their physical life. I can see that in you. You have a
Thank
great
you.
deal of energy. Your third eye is pulling out right now. I can actually see it in the camera. It's like vibrating up. It's really very cool.
I'm I'm like a sponge learning all these things from you. You know, like past life. I have snippets, but you actually have more memory. Mine are just random kind of, it's like, you know, like when you're playing paintball, I get random hits, but not, I haven't really delved into it because there's so much more that I'm doing. And
You have such a great, I can tell you have regal souls in you.
I
Um,
told you I was so, you know, when I went to Sedona and I was seeing the sphinxes, you know, bowing to me, and I'm like, oh, what are you and what are you doing to me? But
yeah,
my greatest thing that I really want to develop more is my healing, because I know, you know, I just need to channel it better. But it just that when
it's
I
just a
do it,
question of, listen, I do this. It's just a question of believing that you can. I had a terrible thing, and Hercules stopped it on me. I had a terrible fear bleh, of succeeding. It sounds weird, but it was like, oh my God, oh my God, I can't do this. And yes, I can. And yes, you can.
I
You've
know
got
I
it
can.
in, honey,
I
you
know
got it in you. I can feel it in you. It's there.
I
And
just
all
want
you
to
got to
use it to really help people,
look
but
at,
also cognizant that when I do it, it's draining
it
after I
is.
do it. It's like
I always
losing your
carry a
battery.
sapphire with me. This is a 43 carat sapphire, which is vanishing. Um, as Hercules always calls it, cerulean or cobalt blue. And that's the thing. If you put something like this to your forehead, you're putting that energy, you're channeling, because it's color, you're channeling that color, that healing energy to somebody. So imagine you're thinking about a tunnel with a blue light going right into wherever it's wrong with them. If it's their arm or their back, or, God, there's something wrong with their brain, use a blue light, it'll work.
I do a level 2 Reiki master.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, I'm saying that when I've done it remotely to other people, like friends and relatives, and afterwards, it's just, you know, very draining because your total energy just goes, you know, to them.
You know how, like, when you're back when I was still younger, I could dance.
You still
I was a good
can.
dancer. I'm 67, I can say that.
I'm older than you. What are you talking
And
about?
you look 25 years younger.
Oh God, it's retinol, baby.
Well, at least it's not silicone, okay?
No, no, it's all real. It's all
No, it's
real.
real, I can tell. But what I'm saying is, just like when you're dancing or you're working out or whatever, you warm up.
Mm.
Before you work with your client psychically, warm up.
Good,
Meditate, warm
great,
up. It'll
great
really help
advice.
you. Believe me, it'll help you.
Grounding.
Grounding, but also, you know, like if you've got kids, throw them out of the house. If you've got, the room that you're in, turn off music. Let everything just go numb energy, so that you're in touch with you, nobody else, and then work with your client, because you're already centered, and then you can put that energy out there for somebody else to see it and feel it.
I, I don't do clients. It's just usually requests from people I know.
Same thing,
Huh?
exactly the same thing.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, okay, we'll call them that. But you have so much, and I'm just so curious about all these things that you know. Because I
Whatever
have,
I can do to help you, I will. That's what I'm here
well,
for.
keep
I am a high
talking.
priest,
I
and
know. I remember you from last time.
well, that's what, and my job, my title is called Hem Neteru, which is the gods of Egypt, Tempe. And what it means is that I am the main servant of the temple. I'm not here to be a sycophant. I'm here to help. That's my job.
Okay,
Yeah,
I've been talking too much. Let others talk.
Sorry.
I have a
Sorry.
question. Actually, have you ever noticed in your everyday life from your past lives, maybe uh, duties or habits or things that you do, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, this person from this past life used to pour tea that way, or walk this particular way, or do have you noticed and stopped yourself
The
and kind
first
of
time I smelled vetiver, It's an herbal fragrance. Mostly you can find in Haiti, but it's used a lot in perfumes. The first time I smelled it, I knew that was the leaves, and roots and parts of a plant that I was familiar with, but only because I was moving through it as a cobra. I knew
Well,
that was the smell. I knew that was it, like it was stream of consciousness.
say the plant again.
Vetiver.
Vetiver. I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. Vetiver. Good to know. You need to go research that, Bruno.
What else can I do to help anybody?
Can I ask Tim? I want to look at the title of your book because I couldn't see it.
It's called The Persistence of Ghost.
Ooh.
And then the subtitle, I got to read it myself because I can never remember it. Real Ghost Encounters, Residual Hauntings, and the Theory Behind Why Spirits Persist.
Why do they persist?
Oh well, let Michael talk about that because he's the star of the show today.
Also, too, I just want to remind everybody, if you're not talking, mute yourself. Gloria, do you know how to mute on the phone?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So anyway, so we don't have any interruptions and everything else. So Michael Koff, he sent a little message. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, definitely. If you're not talking, mute yourself. And now back to Michael. Michael, how many past lives have you had?
That we documented about
Yeah.
107.
You have 107 past lives?
Yeah, pretty. But that's the ones we documented. There's probably more.
Wow. Okay,
I was
because like General Patton, I think he had like 7 past lives, and that was kind of interesting.
maybe I had a lot more karma to work over.
Yeah, I guess so.
Some
Yes.
of my past lives that I won't talk about here weren't so nice. So maybe that's what that was. Anyway, I think I've done better now. I think
Oh.
my energy, my vibrations are better now.
But the Egypt past life is one of your main ones, and then
Those are the ones that resonated so loudly that I know that's what I took also as my religion and my practice as a pagan person. That's my energy. That's who I am.
okay, and what would be your second major past life?
You mean non in a non-Egyptian life?
Yeah.
Um, hmm, that's interesting. Probably Hal, the servant of Henry VIII.
Okay.
And as I say, he was just a servant. He was nobody special.
Okay, and also too, you wanted to talk about you have a ghost haunting your residence.
Yeah, and it's in Tim's book. I actually grew up with one.
Okay.
He was a noisy little monster. His name was Frankie Cohen. His mother had sold my family the house in 1961. What she didn't tell us was in 1953, her son fell out of a tree. He had fractured his neck, and then he was sleeping, went up to go to sleep, and moved his neck, and he snapped his neck and died in the upstairs bedrooms. We found out that was my brother's bedroom. And he was a poltergeist. Here you have a 9-year-old little brat running around. He would steal books, clothing. He did all kinds of really odd things and laughing and giggling and running up and down the stairs. You would hear him. Um, we didn't talk to him because I don't think you could do that. But he was around until I was 19 years old. We did a spell, a ritual called the Necromancy of Intelligence, which is by John Dees, and we exorcised him. What we did here, as he was leaving, there was a bright light, and I heard Grammy, and she said Frankie very loud, Frankie, Grammy, and that was it. He was gone, and then the house felt very empty, having grown up with this little ghost. Now, I had 2 other ghosts that have now disappeared. The main lady that's here, his name is Eleanor Collins. She was a slave. She was freed in 1865. She ran a smokehouse, and there was apparently there was a plantation here, and she just kept doing what she did. All she ever says, I looked her up. I didn't believe she was real, but she is. And she just says in a loop, "I'm waiting for my man to show up." It's weird. There's a song by Diana Ross, Last Time I Saw Him, and that song is in my head when I think of her. But I can smell cigarettes and a perfume. It's a rose and gardenia perfume. And apparently that was her perfume. And whenever she's appearing in the area, that fragrance comes. It's like cigarettes and that smell. And then I can see her. What I see is a tall black woman. She's in a house coat. She has like flat shoes on. And she only appears for a second and a half or so. And then she'll look at you and say, "I'm waiting for my man to show up." And then she's gone. There was a Confederate soldier. This was also a battleground. Of course, it was, that area in the plantations. I'm sure they were fighting in the road, in the streets, in the dirt or whatever, or in the plantation fields. He was a Confederate soldier. He had red hair, red beard, very skinny, and a Confederate soldier's gray outfit, a black, what do you call it? Um, like a black long coat. It just went out of my head. And he has a gun with a fixed bayonet and a little pouch. And he just stands there. He doesn't do anything but stand there. The energies that I work with told me he's just a loop. There was also outside my bedroom window, which scared the hell out of me. Um, there was a trooper who was killed in 1967 during the riots. And he opens his mouth and his hands like this. There must have been something before my window was here. This apartment was only built 20 years ago. So there might have been a tree there or something, but he was shot in the back. I looked him up too, in this area. I wanted to know what was going on. So I found records of Eleanor. I don't know who the trooper was. He didn't. The name is not anything. I mean, the Confederate soldier. A duster, that's the name of the long black thing he was wearing. And the trooper is in a beige uniform. He looks like a typical Southern trooper. He has on, mirrored glasses and and that beige uniform, and he's just doing this, with his hands toward the window. And he only appears when it rains. But, I have had a lot of paranormal work that way. I also worked with LIPE, Long Island Paranormal Investigators. We had a great deal of things going on in Ronkonkoma and other parts of Long Island where we went into farmhouses and old buildings, and we were very much dealing with ghosts. One was a biker grandfather who really didn't approve of the woman's second husband, and he kept throwing things at him. The cabinets were opening, glasses were flying. And I said to him, "Hey, look, your daughter lives here. You've got to stop this. You've got to make peace with them." And after that, they stopped. And I'm going to be mean, but I'm going to say it. And so that was fine for 2 years. And then she wasn't sure, so she contacted a minister, and he did something, and he got pelted with dishes and cups and saucers and things. He kind of undid what I did. And because he felt that, I'm not a Christian, so therefore I couldn't do what I did. So the ghost came back and was like, "Okay, creep, we don't want you." And they attacked him. And then the man left. And as soon as the priest left, everything was peaceful again. It was 2000, not even, 1999, 1998. I had just moved from Long Island to Huntington, if you know Long Island at all. So I've had a lot of experience, Paul, with paranormalism too.
Michael, do you think that these places that you have been where you've had these experiences, these haunting experiences, is there something special about them, or do you think that you could go, or any of us could go just about anywhere, and eventually you'd manage to stir up a spirit?
Well, I think no matter where you go, somebody died somewhere, right? I know that this area here was at one time a battlefield and at one time a plantation. So, there were people, and I didn't know that when we moved in. I didn't even know anything about. I live in the fountains in Savannah, outside of Savannah, and all I knew was the place was beautiful. Within 3 weeks of being here, suddenly there was Eleanor, and you only see her in the living room. So that must have been where her smokehouse was. But I think what you're saying, I think you can find paranormal energy everywhere. Wouldn't you agree, Paul?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also too, I want to introduce you to Stephanie Belson. And Stephanie is also too a psychic. She's been on a lot of my investigations, and she's actually pointed out ghosts to me.
Mm.
Stephanie, can you say hello to Michael?
I
Oh,
don't.
you're muted. You're muted.
We'll have to conjure her.
Stephanie, you're muted. You're you're on mute. Oh,
There, I'm unmuted. Michael, you conjured me.
Poof. There we go. You're gorgeous. Hi.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you.
You too. It's delightful. I have seen you guys talking and things. I'm a paranormal fan, besides being a paranormal person myself. It's very nice to meet you.
Same.
You've got very positive energy, and I'm very glad. It comes through loud and clear, bright oranges and yellows and all kinds of sunshine, and that's cool.
Thank you. I'm honored to be invited tonight.
well, welcome, Stephanie. And Michael, you were talking about Long Island.
Right.
Were you involved with the doing a paranormal investigation on the Long Island serial killer?
Um, I know that area because I lived in Freeport, and Lido Beach is near off Wantagh. Um, I walked by there. The energy is absolutely terrible, and it's in Lido Beach, and you don't want to walk around there. Um, Stephanie would be freaking out because she's so strong. There's a lot of yelling and screaming of the girls. You can feel it. It's a terrible energy. It really is. You don't want to go there. I did not work with the paranormal investigators there. I did work privately with some people with the Nassau County Police, actually.
Wow.
And it was unpleasant, very unpleasant.
Yeah, I
There are
can.
still. I told them something that they're finding now. There are still bodies. They're just uncovering now, and you can find them in the dunes and toward the highway. The way it works, there's a long thin line that goes from Wantagh Parkway to Jones Beach, way out, and all along that way is where this happened, where you have this quiet stretch. There's no lights, there's nothing. It's just whatever's outside, the stars. It's pitch black. It's the scariest place you've ever been. And I can feel those girls tied up, gagged, crying. Yeah, I know you're getting it. And it was terrible. And he particularly had a type that he wanted, and he didn't care anything about them except that he knew he didn't needed to sacrifice them, was the energy he used.
Wow.
Disgusting.
And also, too, we're familiar with investigating serial killer uh, sites. Stephanie actually went with me to the Leonard Lake Charles Ing serial
Mm,
killer
mm,
site at Wilseyville. And
mm.
that's where in their cabin they had something like 30 videotapes of them torturing women and killing them. So, and also too, Stephanie, in that investigation, I believe it was Stephanie that pointed out a section. She says one of the victims is here. I take a picture and we get a mist where she
Mm.
pointed it out. Was that you, Stephanie?
Yeah, I was working in conjunction with somebody that had a camera, and you and I sort of indicated maybe take a picture here. And the thing that was significant, because even now I defer to evidence. Sometimes, I mean, if it's just for my own edification, I take information from the non-physical, but we were looking for evidence that day. And whoever took the picture, it was the outline of a person, and the very next pictures, there's nothing. So that was significant, I thought.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Can I bring this to a positive?
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Okay. Back in 1986, there's a psychic, he's a astrologer. His name is Joe Liccardo. He lives in Long Island. He lives in Queens, New Jersey, excuse me. They were all very doubtful of anything I had psychic abilities because I'm a witch, and they thought, oh, what do you know? So he said to me, I lost my cat, Spooky. Um, Find him for me. So I'm able to do remote viewing. I closed my eyes. I had a picture of the cat, and I had Joe's vibrations on the picture. I told him where the street was, the name of the house, and that the cat would be under an old beat up Volkswagen Bug that was up on cinder blocks, and the cat would be under it. And they laughed at me, but then they went around, and the name of I won't say the street or whatever, but he saw it. The cat, his name was Spooky, was laying flop right under the Volkswagen Bug. And from what I hear, his mouth dropped. Oh my God. It was exactly the same place, exactly where the cat was going to be. And the family that was feeding him came out and said, oh, is that your cat? And sure enough, and there he was. And he never doubted me again because it was easy for me. I've also worked with people, unfortunately, that have lost children. And it's when you know that their lifespan is over, and you feel that it's a terrible feeling. But this was a good thing. We found the cat.
Oh, fantastic. I love animals. Yeah. And I won't take it back to the negative. But anyway,
Well,
Michael, also, too, another part we wanted to talk about, you had a witch story.
well, there's plenty of those. I am a hereditary witch. I grew up in a coven. I have a book which will be out hopefully soon called Neophyte Flight, which is like what it's like for a male witch to grow up in a very Republican, very conservative neighborhood that also had a whole bunch of covens. So yeah, I've been involved in magic, witchcraft, all of those things since I was about 11 years old. I knew, and the funny part, well, you'll laugh. I was going to be brought into the coven as a full-fledged member when I was 13 and a half or 14. And at the same time, my parents, who were Lutheran, decided I should be confirmed as a Lutheran. So I went to Sunday school and I went to all these different things. And what happened was, um, I told the Reverend, I won't say his name. He's probably long since gone anyway, actually. I told him that I was going to be initiated as a witch. And he goes, oh, Michael, there's no such thing. And I laughed because right after the party and things, I went to the circle where we worked, and I was initiated as a neophyte, a new member in the coven. So I will tell you, I'm here to tell you there are such things as witches.
I absolutely believe in the whole thing with the witches and stuff. I don't understand the stigma. I never understood it when I was growing up because if Jesus could do all of these things and we were given gifts by God to do the same things that Jesus can do, which can appear to be magic, I don't see what the problem is. We're all
I
connected to the earth and we should be able to do things that may look like magic, paranormal, super stuff, and magical powers and stuff, but we all have these abilities. It's just whether you're willing to fine tune them, whether you're willing to use them and stuff. So growing up, I never understood the stigma, even though I grew up in an Orthodox, family. I was very shunned for the things that I did as well.
Well, my aunt was a high priestess, and with my neighbors and things were all part of the coven. So I didn't know what it was like for other people till I got to school. I got to college and high school and stuff, and we found non-pagan people, and they thought what we did was weird. I mean, I was walking around high school. Everybody in Uniondale will tell you. I walked around high school with a sandalwood box with my tarot cards in it. And if people were having trouble, I inscribed candles. I used different oils and herbs and things to help people learn or grow or, become healthy all my life. So I didn't know what it was all about, that there was no such thing.
I think it's very beautiful what you're doing.
Thank you.
There's a big divide, chasm. People will say, you cannot be a Christian if you believe this kind of pagan things. I'm like, wait, what? Because there's, somewhere
Jesus was a pagan.
connected.
A lot of Christians don't believe Jesus was Jewish. I find that hysterical. When he was 13 years
That is
old.
funny.
Do you
It's
know anything about
contradictory.
Judaism? When he was 13 years old, he spoke in front of the great rabbis. That's his bar mitzvah, guys.
Yeah.
And he became a rabbi at 33 because he was in a yeshiva till he's 30. That's what they do from the yeshiva till 30. And at 30, you're confirmed a rabbi because you've learned the energies. I'm not Jewish, but I know these things because I've got a million Jewish friends. So I laughed. It was just ridiculous.
You've seen
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Everybody, we have like 20 minutes left. So I'm going to have everybody, I'm going to talk to everybody here and tell us how we can contact you. So we'll start with Michael Waterman. How can people reach you?
I'm going to be terrible. First and foremost, you can reach me at Today's Witch magazine, todayswitch.com. Ask all your questions. You can get me with Hercules. You can get me at Michael K. Waterman on Facebook, or my temple, the Perniteru Temple on Facebook, or Phono Wizard, which is my business on Facebook. You can also reach me with Phono Wizard at 516-650-3691. Please, everybody, friend me. I would be delighted. You can also get me at mkwaterman@icloud.com.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michael. And
Most
Michael
welcome.
Koff, you were very quiet today. How can people reach you?
I can be found on Facebook under Michael Koff, and I'm on YouTube. I'm on Rumble, and you can find me under my podcast shows, The Energy That Surrounds Us, and Riding Through the Unknown.
Michael, I missed you.
Yes.
I know. I have so many questions I never got a chance to ask.
Michael, call me.
Ask.
PM me, call me. We'll do it.
Yeah, you should have just jumped in. Hercules, how can people reach you?
People can visit me on Facebook or at my YouTube channel.
Fantastic. Stephanie, how can people reach you?
Unmute.
You're on mute.
Oh, no.
Stephanie, you're on mute. Okay.
Stephanie, where are you?
All right. Stephanie, you're still on mute.
I don't think she knows that.
Okay. Okay, moving along.
She's gone off into the astral. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Tim, I just got a little phone call there, and someone says, "Yeah, Tim's got a new book out." Tim, how can people reach you?
Well, if you want to read my books, probably the easiest way would be just to go to Amazon.com and type in my name, Tim R. Swartz, and they'll all come tumbling out for your reading pleasure. I have one or two out there, I think. Our most recent, I held it up earlier in the show. It's called The Persistence of Ghosts. Let me see.
Over your face. Yeah, that works.
There you go. The Persistence of Ghosts, Real Ghost Encounters, Residual Hauntings, and the Theory Behind Why Spirits Persist. And Paul and Hercules and Michael all have chapters in this book. and it's now available on Amazon. It will soon be available at your favorite local bookstore and library. And I'm also currently getting the ebook edition set up and ready to go. And as well, I guess now they have audiobooks that you can turn these into. So I'm going to turn it also into an audiobook. So it'll be available in all kinds of different formats. And, I have a website that I'm currently working on. It's timrswartz.com. But right now, it's just kind of like just full of placeholder stuff. And I promise I'll get onto it soon.
And Tim, it's amazing that you're talking about the audiobooks because my books, I publish them through Google Books and Google Play. And also, too, I saw the option for audiobooks. So I'm going to go ahead and try that.
Yep. I'm looking forward to giving that a shot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sue, how can people contact you?
Well, I am on Facebook. People can contact me on Messenger under Sue McClure. That's spelled SOO. And I'm also on Twitter. People can talk to me on their Twitter chat. It's under the same name. I'm also on Instagram. If you want to email me, I'm at Sue Lightworker, SOOLIGHTWORKER. WORKER, and that's at gmail.com. So suitlightworker@gmail.com. And they can book sessions either through Messenger or they can book sessions through email if they want. Let me know if they want me to work with them on how to help them meditate and how to help maybe work on whatever situation. I help people calm their nerves and things like that.
Holy cow, Sue. That's a lot. Thank you, though. Gloria.
Well, I think everybody here is already on my Facebook. So I have a very different name on Facebook. I think I should just make a page for my paranormal stuff because it's conflicting with, unlike Mr. Tim there, I don't have any paranormal books yet. But if you want to read a raunchy romance novel, that would be spice your love life a little bit. I'm on Amazon.
I wish I had one.
Well, maybe you'll get one.
Well, actually, I'm working on it. I've got somebody in mind, and he's really kind of cool.
Ooh, sounds good.
Well, I'll let you know in 2 weeks.
What? Let me know. Anyway, don't get me off focus here, but I will find you on Facebook. I think everybody here is already my friend on Facebook, so I'm keeping up with everyone. And Paul, my longtime dearest friend.
All right.
Yep. Thank you for inviting me today.
Oh, you're welcome. And now I'm going to take it to the negative. It's almost time to close this show.
So much fun talking to you guys. I learned so much, really.
We all got to go sometime,
Well, have a wonderful rest of your evening, wherever time zone you're in.
Anyway, if we do go, I'll be
you,
back
Michael.
anyway. I know that one.
Hercules, do we have any more time or is it all over with?
Around 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes? Okay. Anybody have a good joke or anything?
What do you call 12 witches in a microwave?
I don't know what.
An easy baked oven.
I like that.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you so much, Michael.
You're welcome.
Okay, everybody. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Isabel.
Isabel who?
Isabel on the bicycle working?
Oh, no.
Now? Okay, one more chance. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Lion.
Lion who?
lying on the job, eh?
Oh.
I thought we were going to be talking about the Sphinx after that.
That really did. That really
They
did
are
Sphinx.
literally
That
lying.
Sphinx. That Sphinx really rotted.
Yeah, they were lying on the job.
Oh God, mummy, please.
Got
You know,
the dad jokes coming out.
at
Mm.
Fort, you're talking about Sphinx. At Fort Huachuca, I went to Fort Huachuca in 1979, and that's where I went to for military intelligence school. And right outside of the barracks is a huge Sphinx.
Oh dear.
Hey,
Yeah, the keeper
what?
of secrets.
How? How? Who
Well, they
built
don't.
it? Why is it there?
They put it.
The Sphinx never
Anything in
tells.
it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Was it
How
hollow?
did it end
Anything
up
in
there?
What's it made out of?
Oh, I don't know what. I mean, it's a statue,
Yeah.
but it's right
Yeah.
outside of our barracks. So,
Mm.
I always wonder if they hide things in them.
and they said that the Sphinx was the keeper of secrets.
Yes.
It is.
Probably was
Well, it's
secrets in
got
it.
about 19 compartments that they've checked out now. It's not. It's got little places like rooms in it or below it. They actually believe there's a platform underneath it that's actually a temple.
huh.
You
Well,
know how long
Nobody
they
has
have to
gone
dig?
there?
Oh, wow.
Oh, remember on the right paw, they said underground, there's like a hall of records.
Yeah, Edgar Casey found that first in sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Edgar Casey. Yeah.
And there's
It was their
tunnels to
version of
everything.
Library of Congress.
Mm. The Nixon tapes.
Are our books going to be on there? In there?
Amelia Earhart is hiding there, you know.
Good one. That's a good one.
And Michael, you were talking about too that I think you tap into the Akashic records.
I can. That's easy enough. Sure.
Oh, and how far can you do a remote viewing? I mean, are you able to do it on the other side of the earth, or?
The furthest I've done something that I was France.
Oh, okay.
I worked with somebody in Nice in France.
Hmm.
There was a remote viewer, and he claimed that he was able to remote view the dark side of the moon.
Did
Wow.
Did he have a flashlight?
So, Michael, do you?
Isn't that an album titled Dark Side of the Moon?
It's an album, yeah, from Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd.
There's
I have
a
something
remote
to say.
viewer that can see, that saw Mars. Mars intelligence is what they gathered.
Oh,
Huh.
yeah,
And on that question, we must wait till the next episode.
Come on.
For being here, and I look forward to our next conversation. Setna, you're awesome. You're all awesome, and in that awesomeness, go forth and succeed in all things.
Well, thank you, Hercules.
Yes, thank you, Michael. You were wonderful, great. It was just fun listening to you.
I had a ball. You guys are too much.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's blow this fire trap.